What's happening, Expeditioners? It's Peter here. I want to read to you the next chapter from my book here. True Tales of Greed, Generosity, Success, and Luck. We are on chapter 13, and this chapter is called Chewed Out. By the peak of his notorious rise in the 1980s, Colombian drug kingpin Pablo Escobar had achieved a level of wealth that boggles the mind. He accumulated an estimated $30 billion fortune, making him one of the richest criminals ever to walk the earth. But all those stacks of illicit cash brought an avalanche of unexpected problems that nearly buried the cocaine empire that Escobar had built. When you're making tens of millions of dollars per day by slinging cocaine across the globe, money piles up faster than you can shovel it. Escobar's multi-billion-dollar kingdom became downright overrun by the physical billions upon billions in cold hard cash he had laying around. According to his brother, a staggering $2.1 billion in ratty, moldy dollar bundles had to be written off each year, either from water damage, rot, or being devoured by the army of vermin infesting Escobar's cash-stuffed warehouses. Yes, billions were lost to rats gnawing their way through the piles of spoiled currency. You can't just take $30 billion to your local bank, so Escobar's henchmen wrangled a team of forensic accountants to tally up the damage and literally shovel out the soiled cash. While rats were demolishing part of the fortune, Escobar's human enemies were also circling to steal a cut. Intense security was needed to protect all those banks of cash from getting ripped off by ruthless rival cartels and corrupt officials. The kingpin had armed guards up, high-tech safes, and every other piece of security tech you could imagine, all to keep his mountains of money secure. Then there were the actual logistics of laundering all those billions to turn them semi-legit. Escobar got creative, secretly buying up businesses and properties to create a vast web of front companies and accounts to filter the drug money through. He even purchased a professional soccer club at one point just to stash some spare billions. In the end, the overwhelming headache of keeping track of that $30 billion, protecting it, and spending it actually hampered Escobar's crime ring in many ways. All that cash became its own curse, even as it allowed him to rake in unimaginable profits. It sounds absurd to have $2.1 billion in cash lost to rats each year, but that was the magnitude of Escobar's ridiculously vast fortune. Those struggles offer a crazy glimpse into the unexpected pitfalls awaiting criminal billionaires drunk on their own excesses. While having billions sounds glamorous, dealing with all those actual physical dollar bills is far from it. Whether you're El Chapo or Scrooge McDuck, the biggest fortunes can create the biggest headaches when there's simply too much money to go around. So, obviously, it's a little hard to know exactly what a drug kingpin is actually making or losing. But the funny thing about this story is I actually chased it down because in the movie Bad Boys 2, there's a scene where Martin Lawrence and Will Smith go into a drug kingpin's mansion and plant bugs by posing as exterminators. And it's my understanding, or at least I saw an interview, that it was based on this actually happening to Pablo Escobar. So then I chased down the Pablo Escobar story and found out that it was true. At least his brother was telling stories of how the rats were just chewing through money and defecating on it and all sorts of stuff, so they just got rid of it. It just wasn't worth even trying to salvage, especially when you have more money than you know what to deal with anyway. So, not a problem I've ever particularly had, but it's just kind of interesting what can happen. And it's just kind of crazy that there is that many billions of dollars just sitting around, and kind of wonder what happened to it all. Did it all get found and confiscated? Who knows? Hopefully you found that a little interesting. If you want to pick up the book, I'll put a link to it in the description. I'll see you later.